What happens when a dusty old board game evolves into a perilous video game? And what if that game doesn't just transport you to a new world, but transforms you into someone entirely different? Get ready to dive deep into the wildest adventure imaginable, because today we're unpacking the epic, hilarious, and action-packed story of Jumanji. Welcome to the jungle. Our story kicks off in 1996, a time when video games were just starting to flex their muscles, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could prepare anyone for what was about to wash ashore. We see a man jogging along a desolate beach when his foot nudges something half buried in the sand. It's a game board, old, weathered, and with an undeniable air of mystery. He brings this peculiar find home. A curious gift for his son. But the boy, steeped in the burgeoning world of digital entertainment, eyes the dusty board with a shrug. Ludo? He probably thought, unimpressed. He tosses it aside, probably eager to get back to his Sega or Nintendo. Little did he know, this wasn't just any board game. This was Jumanji. But Jumanji, oh Jumanji, has a way of making itself known. That night, an unsettling, rhythmic drumming begins to emanate from the forgotten game. Drawn by the mysterious sounds, the son investigates. He opens the board, not to find dice and pawns, but a video game cartridge. A flicker of intrigue. He plugs it in, presses play, and then a blinding flash of light. The boy is gone, swallowed whole by the digital realm, trapped within the game's perilous landscape. Forever. Fast forward 2 decades to the year 2017. The world has changed. The internet reigns supreme, and video games are more immersive than ever. We meet Spencer, a classic high school nerd, deep into his virtual world. His concentration is broken by a text message, not from a fellow gamer, but from a friend. A rather imposing friend who relies on Spencer to do his homework. Spencer, perpetually in his friend's shadow, quickly abandons his game to finish the assigned task. Fear, a powerful motivator. But Spencer isn't the only one having a rough start to the day. Across town, we meet Bethany, a walking, talking billboard for social media obsession. Every moment is a photo opportunity, every thought a potential post. Her phone is practically an extension of her hand, even in class. Then there's Martha, a quiet, introspective girl, clashing with her gym teacher, a classic case of rebellion against forced participation. The school system, in its infinite wisdom, swiftly delivers justice. Spencer and his homework hawking friend are busted. Bethany's social media addiction earns her a one-way ticket out of class. And Martha, well, her fiery spirit lands her in the same boat. Their punishment? A day spent in the school basement, a dusty, forgotten realm, tasked with the mind-numbing chore of removing staples from old papers. Boredom, as they say, is the mother of invention, or in this case, rediscovery. As they reluctantly pick through mountains of old documents, they stumble upon it. A retro video game console, a relic from a bygone era, with the very same Jumanji cartridge inserted. Perhaps it was the Lost Boys game, donated to the school after his disappearance. Intrigued, or perhaps just desperate for a distraction, they hook it up to an old monitor. Spencer and his friend, the resident gamers, initiate the startup sequence. Martha and Bethany, initially hesitant, are drawn in by curiosity. They select their avatars, a seemingly trivial choice that would soon define their very existence. As the game loads, the strange hum fills the room. Suddenly, the screen flickers, the console emits an unnatural glow, and one by one, each student is pulled into the pulsating light, vanishing from the basement floor. They awake with a jolt, not in a dusty school basement, but in a vibrant, roaring jungle. A jungle teeming with unfamiliar sounds, towering trees, and a suffocating humidity. And as they look at each other, their jaws drop. Their reflections stare back, but they are not their own. Spencer, the scrawny, introverted gamer, is now a towering, muscular explorer. Dr. Smolder Bravestone. Radiating confidence and strength, Martha, the quiet, defiant girl, has transformed into Ruby Roundhouse, a formidable martial arts expert with alluring dance-fighting skills. Bethany, the queen of selfies and social media, is now Professor Sheldon Shelley Oberon, an overweight, middle-aged male cartographer. And Spencer's jock friend, Fridge, the imposing figure who always made Spencer do his homework, has been reduced to Franklin Mouse. Finbar, a diminutive baggage-carrying zoologist. The initial shock quickly gives way to pure panic. Bethany, in her new, unexpected form, gazes into a murky pool, only to be confronted by a massive, aggressive hippo that promptly devours her. A gasp from the others, but then a miracle. Bethany falls from the sky, seemingly unharmed. The jungle wastes no time in asserting its dangers. More animals attack, and a frantic chase ensues. Just as they think all hope is lost, a jeep skids to a halt, and a man steps out, calm amidst the chaos. This is Nigel Billingsley, the game's non-player character NPC guide, and he delivers the chilling truth. Welcome to Jumanji. Nigel wastes no time explaining their perilous predicament. They are trapped within Jumanji, a game with a sinister villain, Van Pelt, who stole the sacred jaguar's eye jewel from a statue, thereby cursing the entire jungle and gaining control over its animals. Their mission, should they choose to accept it and they had no choice, is to return the jewel to its rightful place and shout Jumanji, to break the curse and escape the game. He hands Spencer the jewel, a pulsating emerald that hums with ancient power, and a map, seemingly blank. The way ahead, he intones, before vanishing as mysteriously as he appeared. Fridge, ever the skeptic, scoffs at the blank map. But Bethany, now Professor Shelley, the cartographer, reveals her hidden talent. She touches the map, and suddenly, intricate details of their surroundings materialize, proving she's more than just a large body, she's the key to navigation. The game, being a game, has its rules and stats. Spencer, a natural leader in his new form, instinctively touches his arm, and a holographic display appears, showcasing each player's strengths and weaknesses. Smolder Bravestone Spencer's avatar is a master of strength, speed, and courage, with literally no discernible weakness. Fridge, as Mouse Finbar, possesses zoological knowledge and is a skilled linguist with animals, but his fatal flaw? Cake. Martha, as Ruby Roundhouse, is a formidable martial artist and dancer, and Bethany, as Professor Shelley, the portly cartographer, possesses an uncanny intellect, adept at reading maps and understanding complex systems. They are now truly in a video game? The tranquil moments are fleeting. The jungle, under Van Pelt's dark influence, is unforgiving. A gang of ruthless bikers, Van Pelt's henchmen, attack. The quartet, still reeling from their transformations, must learn to fight, and fight fast. Martha, surprisingly, embraces her inner fighter, executing stunning martial arts moves, saving Bethany from a biker's wrath. Spencer, demonstrating his newfound strength, hoists Fridge onto his shoulders, carrying him to safety as they flee. Their escape route leads them to a treacherous waterfall, a sheer drop with no visible bottom. Just as they reach the edge, a stray bullet hits Martha. She tumbles, another lifeline gone, only to reappear moments later, falling from the sky like a bizarre pre-programmed respawn. The stress is immense. Fridge, still in his shrunken form, lashes out at Spencer, blaming him for their predicament. Spencer, usually submissive, snaps back. In the heat of the argument, Fridge shoves Spencer, who stumbles backwards and falls into a chasm. Another life lost, another dramatic re-entry from the sky. The stark reality of their situation sinks in. They are truly trapped, and they must work together. Following Professor Shelley's keen map-reading skills, they navigate to a bustling market, a brief respite from the jungle's dangers. But hunger strikes, and Fridge, forgetting his critical weakness, snatches a piece of cake. Poof! Another death, another fall from the sky. Their lifelines are dwindling. In the market, a strange boy appears, leading them to a dimly lit room. "Welcome to the Jumanji puzzle," he whispers. "Blink, and you die." Inside the room, a large box contains a giant venomous black mamba. The puzzle, a staring contest with the deadly serpent. Bethany, the wise professor, attempts to use her intellect, but fear overwhelms her. The snake lunges at Martha, but Spencer, quick as a flash, grabs its head, preventing the fatal strike. They retrieve a small wooden elephant from the box, and a cryptic message as soon as you see the elephant, then start walking. Their brief reprieve is shattered as Van Pelt's heavily armed men descend upon them. The diamond is at stake. Just as Van Pelt demands its return, a mysterious figure swoops in, unleashing a volley of smoke bombs, disorienting the henchmen and leading our heroes to safety. This savior is none other than Alex, the boy who vanished into Jumanji 20 years ago. He's been trapped, surviving alone, forever stuck in the game's timeline. Alex, a survivor, leads them to his makeshift home, a hidden cave system, complete with treacherous crocodile-infested waters they narrowly escape. He recounts his 2 decades of solitary confinement within the game. This is living with the constant threat of Van Pelt. He reveals his dire situation. He's down to his last lifeline, a grim reminder of the game's unforgiving nature. It hits them like a lightning bolt. The missing piece of the puzzle, the other half of the map they were unknowingly searching for, was Alex all along. Their joy is palpable. They are no longer alone. They have a guide, a fellow trapped soul who understands the game's twisted logic. The next challenge, a transportation shed heavily guarded by Van Pelt's men. They can't risk direct confrontation, especially with their dwindling lifelines. A plan is hatched. Martha, the only female avatar, will distract the guards, using her newfound allure to draw their attention. Martha, however, is not a natural seductress. Her attempts at distraction are hilariously awkward. But then, a song starts to play from a nearby boombox. The rhythm ignites something within her. Ruby Roundhouse, the fighter dancer, takes over. With astonishing grace and lethal precision, Martha transforms into a whirlwind of kicks and punches, effortlessly taking down the bewildered guards. A true force of nature unleashed by the music. Inside the shed, they discover their ticket to the mountain, a helicopter. But who can fly it? Only Alex has the skill, but with only one life left, he's terrified of the risk. Spencer, displaying a newfound assertiveness, appeals to Alex's sense of duty, reminding him that this is their only way out. Alex reluctantly agrees. The helicopter takes flight, weaving through the treacherous mountain passes, Van Pelt's men hot on their heels, riding monstrous motorcycles. A perilous chase ensues. Suddenly, a jolt, and Fridge, in his panic, drops the Jaguar's eye. It tumbles down towards the ground, surrounded by massive aggressive animals. Spencer, without hesitation, pushes Fridge out of the helicopter. The giant beasts immediately pursue Fridge, allowing Spencer to swoop in, retrieve the jewel, and with Alex's daring aerial maneuver, snatch Fridge from the jaws of death just as he dies and falls back into the game. They finally reach the Jaguar Mountain, exhilarated by their near misses. But the jungle has one last trick up its sleeve. A mosquito bites Alex, and he collapses, unconscious. He's out of lives. Devastated, the group realizes Alex, their guide, is about to be lost forever. Then Bethany, in a profound act of selflessness, extends her hand. Her lifeline glows, then transfers to Alex. Bethany's life bar drops to 0, but Alex stirs, alive. The professor, the self-absorbed socialite, had truly found her humanity. They arrive at the Jaguar statue, the end of their arduous quest. It seems too easy. Spencer, ever the cautious leader, decides to go first. Immediately, a horde of furious animals attacks him. He dies and reappears, warning his friends the path is too dangerous for a single approach. They must split up, using their unique skills to navigate the final, treacherous stretch. As they split up, Fridge stumbles upon a massive elephant, a surprising new ally. Meanwhile, Van Pelt, furious, captures Bethany, holding her hostage. "Give me the diamond," he snarls at Spencer. But then, a thunderous rumble. Fridge, atop the colossal elephant, charges through Van Pelt's men, scattering them like bowling pins. The diamond, dislodged during the chaos, flies high into the air. Van Pelt, distracted, releases Bethany. Martha, ever resourceful, spots the diamond. As Van Pelt closes in, she deliberately steps on a snake, sacrificing another lifeline to distract him. She dies, then reappears, seizing the diamond midair and tossing it to Spencer. Spencer, using his incredible agility, scales the precarious statue. He reaches the top, the jewel clutched in his hand, and plunges it into the empty socket of the Jaguar. Silence. Nothing happens. A collective sigh of despair. Then, a realization dawns on them. The game isn't finished until they shout its name. Jumanji. They bellow, one after another, their voices echoing through the jungle. And with that, a blinding light erupts. The curse lifts, the jungle bursts with vibrant life, and Van Pelt, the embodiment of evil, disintegrates into dust. Nigel reappears, a wide smile on his face. "Thank you, brave adventurers," he says. "You have saved Jumanji." He shakes each of their hands, one by one, and with each handshake, they are instantly transported back to the dusty school basement, back to their original forms. Spencer, Fridge, Bethany, and Martha, bewildered but undeniably changed, look at each other, their minds reeling from the impossible adventure. But one person is missing, Alex. They rush to his old house, the freak house from earlier, now transformed from a dilapidated ruin into a beautifully restored home. Alex emerges, older, a family man, with a daughter named Bethany. The game, in its strange wisdom, had sent him back to his own timeline, allowing him to live the life he was meant to have, forever grateful to the girl who saved him. Their real-world connection forged in the crucible of Jumanji, they return to the basement. Fridge, with a final, cathartic act, raises a bowling ball and smashes the console, destroying the game, breaking its hold on them forever.